Hey everybody, this is Helena and I'm here with Anya Grace today. I'm so excited to be talking with Anya. She is a spiritual mentor and founder of East West Woman. You can check her out at eastwestwoman.com. And today we're going to be talking about feminine freedom, how to move from self-control to self-love. And I'm just so excited to be talking about this with Anya today. We sort of just decided to do this very last minute, so I'm so fortunate to have her on talking about this. So welcome, Anya. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be reunited with you.
We always have such a good time when we get together and talk about some of these really important topics. And I actually don't know much about this topic at all, so I'm really looking forward to having you share your wisdom here. So how would you describe feminine freedom? Give everyone an idea of what that means and what that looks like.
Yeah. Well, I think for this specific talk that we're doing today, feminine freedom, I really want to talk about what feminine freedom looks like in relationship with our bodies and our relationship with food. Because, there's so much continuously being sent to us, information and different diet plans and just all the social media about how to stay fit, how to stay healthy. And what I see in that is there's so much more of a masculine framework behind a lot of these plans, these diet plans, these workout plans, these 10-day challenges. And there's nothing wrong with a 10-day challenge because sometimes we need to shake up the energy, of course. But what I'm seeing is that a lot of this information can be harmful to us as women because it goes against our natural feminine freedom. So what that means is really like, okay, how do we sustain emotional, mental, physical health in a sustainable, gentle, truly healthy way? Does that make sense?
I love that. And we were talking briefly right before we just decided to jump on here and talk about this topic. You said it does relate to dating and relationships. A lot of women in my audience are interested in really attracting a great guy or, maintaining a really healthy relationship. How does feminine freedom relate to those topics?
Yeah, perfect. So I'll just share personally my story a little bit related to this. Basically between about 12 years old and 22, I was stuck in the mental framework that I needed to have a perfect body, in many ways a perfect everything in order to be attractive to my ideal mate. So what that looked like for me is that I was spending up to even 3 hours sometimes at the gym doing cardio, doing weights, stretching, doing a sauna at the end, and trying to be in a lot of control over my body. And food and what I was going to eat and when I was going to work out was literally consuming my mind all the time. I would wake up every morning and the first thing I would do, I'm sure a lot of us have done this too, is put my hands on my belly and feel my waist and see if I was feeling skinny that day. Literally the first thing I did before anything else. So for me personally, my worth was wrapped up in my body and in my body image. And the way I see it now relating to dating and our relationship with men is that, when we shift from feeling like our worth is related to anything that's truly physical about us to actually the energy that we bring forward in relationship, that's where we truly begin to see our power and see our value and to men. And I know you talk so much about this, Helena. So what are you feeling from what I just said?
I think that is great. I mean, I don't know a woman on this planet who hasn't struggled with self-image and body image. Oh my gosh, myself included. I feel like sometimes we're just bombarded with marketing messages all day long that make us feel insecure. They're specifically designed to make us feel that we're not just good enough as we are, and we have to do something or buy something. And yeah, as it relates to relationships, I've really found that men fall in love with us for what we perceive to be our flaws or imperfections, not in spite of them, right? And I also found they fall in love with us when they see us falling in love with ourselves in their presence. So it's not about being perfect. It's actually just the opposite. That's kind of what I bring to the table in terms of this topic. I'm really excited for all of the unique insights that you want to share. So anything related to this concept of feminine freedom and moving from self-control to self-love, I would just love to hear everything you have to say about it. What's the first thing you would tell a woman who maybe comes to you and she's feeling insecure, she's feeling like she has to control everything, could be in any area of her life, how would you move her from control to self-love?
That's so perfect. And I love what you were saying just before that too. Um, yeah, I think first off, just to kind of piggyback of what you said, is men benefit the most when we are soft, receptive, and radiant. And so when we beat ourselves up and contract, and basically this idea that like when we're hard on ourselves, we're the opposite of soft, right? So when we're beating ourselves up over something that we ate, or and we're not in freedom in that place, we're in the opposite. That's really detrimental to our feminine energy. And so I think what I would say to a woman who is really struggling to, feel valuable just inherently is that our worth really lies in our energy. And that's something that my teacher, Shannon Port, talks a lot about too. And just like you're saying, like when we actually reveal ourselves unabashed and release ourselves and we're all over the place, it actually gives men something to work with, to pull out their different tools and be able to handle us and work with us in different ways, so that when we're wild and free in that nature, it's so energizing to them, and it actually sets them free as well when we set ourselves free, because they don't really have that natural wild nature like we do. Not quite. It's not the goddess. Like the goddess is absolutely wild and free. So it's like, okay, how can you realize that it's in those moments of not being in control that we are actually the most beautiful and the most desirable to the men in our lives?
Oh my gosh, I love what you said. Yeah, it's funny, just something came to mind. Two different men that I know, just kind of like work-wise, that working on different things, I've said like, I'm just all over the place right now. I'm so chaotic. I've got a million things going on, and both of them, same response. It was interesting. Like, no, that's feminine energy. That's great. You can use that. It's like reframing it into a positive thing. Where if, I felt a little chaotic, like everything was a mess, and men really, they like that. They need that in their lives, because it's like we're in touch with parts of ourselves that they can only get connected to through us, even in like work situations or with friendships or family members. So I love what you said about like embracing the chaos, embracing, rather than trying to control everything, which I can definitely relate to. I'm kind of like I can tend to be a little OCD, a little bit of a control freak about certain things, just wanting things to be perfect, and letting go of that has been a huge lesson for me in so many areas of my life. Have you found that to be true in women you talk to?
Oh my God, completely 100%. And I personally have gone through transformation around this too, because I used to be very much in my masculine. I was like, rigid in every way. My physical body that was strong and like controlled translated into my personality and the way I was in relationship. And I would like look at, okay, this is kind of funny, but I would look at guys in relationship with girls, and I would have a lot of judgment, because I'd be like, why is he with her? Like I have a neuroscience degree, and I can play the guitar, and I'm a river guide, and I have all of these skills. and it was really diving into the divine feminine wisdom that I realized that is not what men are looking for at all in their love. And it doesn't mean that that's not something that they'll value in us. Like, in fact, it's something that, they'll grow to appreciate about us. All of the skills and gifts and talents that we have, they'll see it. It's part of our inner beauty. It's who we are in this world. So it doesn't mean that those things aren't something that we should go after, but it's that we get to remember that it's our love that opens their hearts, and that's what we give them access to. And I would love to share a story if I can.
Yeah. Oh, I love stories. Yes, definitely.
It's more to get to just this little tiny bit of wisdom that's so beautiful. But I don't know if you can see that candle behind me. Oh yeah, the one that's glowing like super bright. So I did a meditation with that candle to call in my guides recently, and And literally a week after the meditation, I got this message from an angel reader on Instagram, completely random. I've never heard of his name before. And he just messaged me randomly and said, I have a message from your guides if you're open to hearing it. And what I'd asked for was a clear message and clear communication between me and my guides, you know. And not everybody's into this stuff, but I'm just curious, you know. I was like wanting to connect more in that way spiritually. And he gave me the most beautiful message from my guides, essentially. And one of the key phrases was the idea that we can't, the thought of disciplining a goddess manifest is preposterous. That a goddess does not discipline herself. That's not how she lives, you know? That it's when she reveals herself so powerfully, in all ways, raw, emotional, beautiful, refined, all of the different dimensions, that she's in her true power. So just to tie that back it's not just in moving from self-control to self-love and freedom with food, but also like in our emotions too, and knowing that whatever we bring to the table as women, literally whatever we bring that's authentic and natural and raw is valuable to our man and to the men in our lives.
Wow, I'm loving that. A goddess doesn't discipline herself. I see that as like a quote, you know, put a quote and put it all over social media.
It's so powerful.
Right? Oh my gosh, that is amazing. And I've never really heard some of these things put this way before. So this is like really, really powerful stuff. What are some like concrete tips that a woman can do to like let go of some of that control and move from being so like self-disciplined to, and I'm not just asking for myself too, because this is something I need help with a lot. How do you let go of the control sometimes and just kind of embrace whatever is coming up in you?
Yeah. Well, okay, a couple right off the bat, we'll just go to food first, and then I'll move out from that. I like have sustained my ideal weight for the last however many years, but I have no idea how much I weigh because I never weigh myself. So it's the remembrance that it's in how we feel. Again, that's really how we can tell where we're at. That's our scale, is how we feel, not what's that little box on the ground. And so that's a tip, just in terms of weight and really loosening our grip mentally to our physical.
I love that. I love that. And I'm thinking about it like, well, why do we want anything anyways? Because we think we're going to feel better in the having of it. Why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to have a great relationship? Because we think we're going to feel good when we get it. So if you can feel good now, regardless of what a man is doing or regardless of what the scale says, that's probably a big step in turning this around, right?
Exactly. And then another thing emotionally too, I wrote in a little piece of writing that I did that the ocean floor does not request that the ocean tell it when sea's about to storm. The sea does not tell the ocean floor, meaning the masculine container, that she's about to be in a storm, that he's ready to handle whatever she brings. So knowing that when we feel shame, anytime we feel shame, to just really notice that feeling and see that as an opportunity to put our hands over our hearts and sit with ourselves and have compassion for the shame and where that comes from in our lineage as women, in our just historically, and to say, no, like, this is something that's valuable. My emotion is valuable to my man. So I don't have to feel shame over this. And that again lessens that feeling of control, which ultimately just drives it under the surface so it bubbles up in really devastating ways in relationship.
Oh yeah, I'm like laughing over here because of course, if you stuff your feelings down, you try and control everything, those parts of yourself are going to act out and sabotage you, right? Usually at the worst possible moment. So that's what I'm all about, embracing and loving, accepting all of these parts of yourself that are in conflict with each other, and that sort of diminishes their sabotaging power. I've found when you actually listen to these parts of yourself, and it adds to like your collective power as a woman or as a human being. Have you found that to be true as well in terms of letting go of the control and embracing this self-love and freedom?
Oh yeah, 100%. And actually something I really learned from you, Helena, is like just thank you something you said about when we use feeling words and feeling phrases with our men and with our mates, that that builds the intimacy. And I think up until even just recently, I was still having some insecurity around, oh my gosh, do I talk too much about my feelings with my guy? You know? And I think that really freed me up to realize, no, like that's it again, it's what opens the heart, you know. That just popped into my head. I don't know.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love hearing that. I love, this is really valuable information. I had no idea what what you were going to share. I this was like, we decided like 3 minutes before we started this that we so, but I am so happy to be sharing this message with women because I think it's really important. So just to wrap up here, is there any sort of like your top tip or any words of wisdom that you'd want to leave everyone with before we close out today? And we should definitely do this again soon because I know that you have so much wisdom that is just really valuable.
Yeah, I think what it is just exactly what I'm doing right now, which is in a moment of power, of potential power, and of that our power as women lies in our connection with ourselves, and the intimacy that we can have with another person really is only a reflection of the intimacy that we have with ourselves. So that the more time we spend connecting internally with our heart, turning inside and tuning in, that's where we access our power. So just really encouraging everybody to, even if it's 5 minutes a day to an hour a day or whatever, spend time in nature in silence, or on your, I have like my little meditation zone right here, my little rug, which is just like my safe zone. So, you know, whatever it is that makes you feel quiet and safe, that's so powerful to do.
I love that. Such an important message. And this was so great. I just think you are so awesome and beautiful inside and out. We definitely need to do this again soon. I know you have so much wisdom to share around like the divine feminine and all of that. So, and I'm sure people are going to have questions for you. So where can they find you and get in touch with you?
Yeah, beautiful. Email me at connect@eastwestwoman. It's with an a singular one. It's you, one woman. eastwestwoman.com. You can also visit the website and email me directly. That would be the best way.
Okay, great. Yeah, I will post a link to that in the description right below this video. So check that out if you're interested more in East West Woman. There's a lot of really great resources on your website. I've definitely checked it out myself. So thank you so much, and I hope to talk with you again soon.
Thank you.